is Crystal with Pineapple Papers, and I have a design team project for Color Rush Studio. So I love this paper. Simple Stories is really good about kind of doing some of the work for you. Not that they don't give you enough embellishments, because I definitely have plenty of embellishments, but they take some of the guesswork out of things. Of course, you could fussy cut around this and totally use all of the bits, but I really like to use the papers the majority of the time. I wouldn't say always. Kind of how they are designed. So I've got actually 3 photos that are going to go on this layout. So in December of 24, my son went to Rome with his girlfriend. And so I did get a couple of pictures. He was really bad at taking pictures, but I got a couple of pictures. So these are 2 pictures that I got. And then we keep track of us as a family on Life 360. And so when I looked at where he was, it gave me his little picture over there in Rome. And so I did screenshot that. So at the time that I was making this, I had no idea where these pictures were from. And so I just know they were from his trip, and I figure if they're from his trip, they can go together, right? So I am going to take the screenshot of where he is, and I'm going to put it on one of the tags. And then I'm going to take the other 2 pictures, which one is, oh gosh, I made him look it up and tell me one. So the top picture is in a basilica, and the other one is an ancient Roman wall, I believe, that was kind of by their Airbnb. So I'm going to back those 2 photos, which are still in 4x6, and I'm going to back them in just some black cardstock from my stash, nothing exciting. And then I'm going to struggle with my adhesive because it's really getting jumbled up, but it was almost done, and I just felt like I needed to use it as much as I could. So that's what's happening with there. So if you're like, that looks really bizarre, that's why. I did go ahead and put some frazzle in my tag. So here's what I'm talking about. So I use a tape runner from Elmer's, and you can see it there, but the inside, the refill, I was just using the refill because it kept getting like caught up in itself. But I did use it all up. So now I'm back to the new one. So I'm going to stack up all 3 of the photos, as you can see here. And I loved this title that says, See the World, because obviously he is seeing the world because he is in Rome. And I thought maybe I'd put it down in the bottom lower hand corner, but it definitely fit better in the upper left hand corner. It's kind of open there anyway. And then now I need to think of some embellishing. So I'm going to take a little bit of time and go through quite a bit of the ephemera. I decide that this piece that's like a postcard and a, what are those called? Viewfinder, and a butterfly. Wow, it is really snowing like crazy. It'll be gone by tomorrow, but it sure is coming down at the moment. So I thought that would be a good place to do the journaling, which, like I said, after I made this layout, I walked straight out to my son and I was like, what is this? So it does get journaled on. I think it's actually journaled on before I took the pictures even. So go me. I'm going to add a couple of word stickers down at the bottom. One says noteworthy, one says timeless. And then I create a tiny little cluster up at the top. The tab says important, and one says fearless. And I think it says Copenhagen. They're not in Copenhagen, but it's fine. And then one of the florals. And I'm thinking I need a floral here, but I'm not loving this particular one, but I am going to use it as a placeholder. And then I decided to cover up the pre-printed butterfly and use this die cut butterfly instead. So this is the one I end up going with. And so I'm going to tuck it under that title a little bit, and I will end up scooting the title over so that it's not completely over the floral. And then there's like a die cut piece of rickrack, and I'm going to put that on the bottom of the title, just kind of as a little bit of a grounding piece. There you go. And it just seemed like there was a weird gap there for me. So that's part of the reason for doing that. And then I was seeing if there was anything left in my drawer. I'm also going to see if there's anything on the sticker sheet, and I am going to go with a couple of the stars. I'm going to put those in the 3 different embellishment clusters. Maybe. I get 2 up there, but I do feel like I get 1 down there at the bottom, but maybe I don't. So it looks like I am just going to take a little bit of time and glue things down. There's not too much to glue down because I had already done the photos, so I figured not even worth the, I think it's maybe a minute to turn it off, and then my video is even shorter, which is already only about a little over 8 minutes. So I'm going to take a little bit of time and glue everything down. Here's where I'm like, yes, I need another star. So I knew I got some stars down there and the bottom as well. Yes. So the only one that didn't get a second star is the title, but the title is the same color and same as that black star anyway. So that is going to be my layout. I will have some close-ups for you. So in the description box below, I will have links to Color Rush Studio so you can get your hands on these amazing kits. You can also use my code, which is 10 Crystal, and that will save you 10% in the shop. And here is a final look at my layout. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. And remember to wear your crown.